the post that was posted by, put up by Muhoozi that said, "Let Muhoozi decide what to do with Honorable Otafiire. It won't take us half a second to arrest him." And Otafiire responds with laughing out loud.
General Muhoozi is a big fish in a small pond, so it's not an issue. He's a big fish in a small pond.
Okay. Vote for Museveni one more time. Don't go for standby generator. So, and yes, indeed, presenting to you from these United States of America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might watch this conversation. My name is Mordecai Murisa, and you're welcome to Mordecai Murisa Live. And now, I am happy to say happy Saturday. Exactly. Oh, yes. Let me get rid of this stuff on my screen. Absolutely. And now, ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you are. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're gonna talk about a complete diversion. Rarely do I use that term because I believe it's been misused and abused. Almost a number of Ugandans call everything they see that's a diversion. I usually ignore, but I am increasingly believing or coming to realize the feud between Muhoozi and Otafiire is complete diversion, and I'll explain here. Ready? Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna ask you to subscribe. That's the pitch today. Subscribe, like this video, and share what you think. Okay. Down in the comment section. So, ladies and gentlemen, for a number of days, Ugandans have sort of gotten interested in this manufactured feud between the CDF, Muhoozi and Otafiire, the Minister of Internal Affairs. And all this actually culminated into the post that was posted by, put up by Muhoozi that said, "Let Muhoozi decide what to do with Honorable Otafiire. It won't take us half a second to arrest him." And Otafiire responds with laughing out loud. And I think he had, there was another post that I saw actually before that. Muhoozi had tweeted and said, "Honorable Otafiire should stop trying to use me in his fights with my father. He has a very big problem with Muhoozi. He knows it. Let us see if Muhoozi arrests him." And that's when he followed up with, "Let Muhoozi decide what to do with Honorable Otafiire. It won't take us half a second to arrest him." So, it is very easy, especially now that we have, many of us are opposed to the presidential ambitions of Muhoozi, as we know him to be incapable. It is very easy to fall on the side of Otafiire. But I want you to understand this. He's part of the system. Even when he makes all these complaints or criticism towards the presidential ambitions of Muhoozi, he usually quotes it with the endorsement of Museveni's presidency that is characterized by lawlessness and impunity. So do not fall prey to this smoke screen. It's a ruse, it's a facade, it's phony. Smoke and mirrors, just like the title of this video is. I'll go on and show you situations where he's been raising his voice. And I want you to pay attention to usually what he says. Take for example here, when he was talking about the Muhoozi project and
General Muhoozi is a big fish in a small pond, so it's not an issue. He's a big fish in a small pond.
okay. Vote for Museveni one more time. Don't go for standby generator. So, really to fall for the words of Kahindo Otafiire is pretty much falling for the words, for the games of Muhoozi Kainerugaba. He is not opposed to the system. He says, okay, I don't care the lawlessness, the impunity, the corruption, the dereliction of duty by so many people in the government. I don't care. As long as my favorite candidate is the one overseeing national politics. He doesn't really care about the broken healthcare system. He doesn't care about the lawlessness and impunity. He endorses Museveni. So I'm saying all this to talk to you. Do not fall for these games. I mean, remember when Bob Njaji and Nicholas Oyo from Kenya were released from torture facilities? They told us that Amos Rwangomani, a brother relative to this man, Kahindo Otafiire, was in the torture facility with them. And Kahindo Otafiire had actually complained about the same at an event. I think it was some Kalega Njuba lecture at the New Radical Bar. What happened after? The Kenyan activists said this. The story was swept under the rug. Nobody even knows. Was this man released? What was he charged of? Why was he abducted? He doesn't really care. And then I've seen people, and I've made commentary at the same time, sometime in the past, where he was telling the government, oh, about WSJ issues, you should fix it this way. Look, I don't want us to sit here and convince ourselves that if Kahindo Otafiire wanted to speak to Museveni, it would require him to voice out his diatribes on social media or in press conferences. If he really meant what he wants, there's a cohort of the untouchables within the Museveni criminal regime that it wouldn't take them even a second to get Museveni on a phone call. So when he comes and says, let me show you here. I think this is when he said it. Let me show you. I got a video. Okay, where did I save that video? Listen here.
Including the struggle with Besigye. Mm-hmm. That Besigye should be tried in a court, condemned or absorbed, is a right. It's a right. Mm-hmm. So why not you...
So that's again. For example, he says Besigye should be tried, even if he committed a crime, should be charged. I mean, and then it goes, turns to Chidiowa Chiwanuka and says, oh, so Bwana Chiwanuka, the Attorney General. Look, you can actually switch positions here and give the speech he's given to Chidiowa Chiwanuka. And Chidiowa Chiwanuka said the lawlessness and impunity of men and women in uniform, the stories of abduction, of torturing of innocent Ugandans. Kahindo Otafiire, you are the Minister of Internal Affairs. So when he says, oh, but now Chidiowa Chiwanuka, he doesn't mean a single word. He doesn't mean it. He's just playing to the gallery. And that's very sad. That these are decorated men and some women have been reduced to what Mordecai Morisa does. Mordecai Morisa does commentary. That's all I do. Because I'm a ding-dong on social media, on internet. I occupy this dot in this ginormous space. Not even a drop in the ocean. But all these folks have been reduced to commentary. I'm going to talk and I'm going to show how tough I am. That's not what I do here, but that's what they try to play. To the gallery. Oh, see me. I'm going to confront this dude is in the government. He's Minister of Internal Affairs. Has he condemned the abduction of Dr. Kizza Besigye from Kenya? Because that's against the international law. Has he condemned the continued abduction of NUP supporters? Did you see him come out and be like, okay, that was wrong. That wasn't an election where you arrest or abduct your political opponent, his deputy president? Where they killed people in Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi's compound. Actually, not compound. They were in a gate. Only for Museveni to be like, okay, those are terrorists. Not even a Minister of Internal Affairs had a press conference. Zero. Because he's pretty much a dummy in this position, Minister of Internal Affairs. Now, that's not an insult. I'm trying to explain what I see. I don't know whether you followed what happened after the entropy at Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi's home. Museveni immediately declared Mwanga Chivumbi a terrorist, and the judiciary followed suit, and up to now is being charged with a case of terrorism that Museveni pulled out of nowhere. So these are all just games. These are diversions. Even when I see Muhoozi Kainerugaba respond, I'm not going to care. I will. Look, don't hear what I'm not saying. When he comes out and criticizes, sometimes the criticism holds substance, but we have to take that criticism but continue looking at Kahindo Otafiire for what he is. He's part of the system. I'm here to dismantle this persona he's trying to put on over is outside of the establishment. He's part of the system. Minister of Internal Affairs. Okay, then I'll show you another video where he was talking here. Listen.
Now, that's what government means. If you don't have coercive power, then you are an NGO.
Yeah, I was trying to define how the government works, and his only definition of how the government should work is Machiavellian tactics. I agree, there's a place for that. But a government can actually use what we call soft powers. I might not actually blame him. This man was a rebel. His mindset is fight and fight, kill. When you see a bag, just grab a machete or a hammer. That's the mindset. There's a place for violence. I mean, that's what these folks are trained for. The military and the police. But violence against whom? That's the question. Not against innocent Ugandans. You're not going to be like, oh, because the military is, its job is to professionally practice. Is there something like a professional violence? But to exhibit violence in as far as winning the opponents. But the question is, who are the opponents?
So don't make mistakes. Now, police officers are law enforcement officers. Law enforcement does not mean fascism. When they say you are law enforcement officers, some of you become fascists by excellence. They just break people's bones. No, law enforcement is to make sure the society is orderly as per the laws passed by Parliament. Please.
Oh, okay. Again, you realize he's talking about breaking people's backs and beating them up and, violating the law. Hello, welcome to Museveni's Uganda. When many opposition folks were opposed to the amendment of the Constitution, what did he do? He sent his jag-booted thugs, the Special Force Command, in the Ugandan Parliament. Members of Parliament who were assaulted. Many of them are still nursing wounds. Museveni's modus operandi has been violence. And I'm not surprised he's referred to himself as Sabarwanyi, Sabayekera. Of recent, I was having a conversation. This is funny. I was having a conversation with a guy, NRM guy, and he was telling me about how Museveni is this warrior, Sabarwanyi, Sabayekera. I'm like, okay, I understand. Museveni was a rebel, leader of rebels. Oh, yeah, so it is right you can call him Sabayekera. And I was like, okay, what are some of the actions involved in Okuyekera? Isn't it killing people? It's like, yeah. It's not a childish play. I'm like, I understand. So can I go on and call him Sabatemu? No, you can't say that. I'm like, you're calling him Sabayekera. Was he being Sabayekera against trees or against birds in the air? He was Sabayekera against people. He killed people. So can we call him Sabatemu? No. You can't have it both ways, brother.
When we say you're going to enforce law, don't go and break people's heads. Don't commit crime in the holy name of enforcing the law. No.
That's commentary. That's my commentary. I can use this platform to say that. You are a minister. You wield power. You have this authority. You can hold these folks who break the law, who break people's backs, who violate the law. You can hold them to account. But he's pretty much has become an orator. Probably wants to win a Nobel Prize for oratory skills. He's being, I don't think he's winning that as well either.
That's why when people started shooting thieves on the street, I said, this is too much. We investigate and we punish those who did it.
No,
why? Because these are thieves. No, thieves have a right.
Mountain Museveni is Uganda. So all these are just manufactured diatribes. He knows what he's doing. They're masters at these games. Then here he said, this is what he said. Watch.
Major General Kahindo Otafiire avuddeyo n'alabula fanfeewe nti singa ateekateeka omuntu okumuddira mbikereya n'aba avudde ku mulamwa.
It would be wrong for General Museveni to name anybody succeeding because the presidency of Uganda does not belong to him. That would be a mistake, both ideologically and legally.
Otafiire nga yabadde awayamu ne bannamawulire makaaga agasangibwa e Kashenshero mu disitulikiti y'e Mitoma yategeezezza ng'entebe y'obukulembeze bw'eri mu mikono gy'Abannayuganda.
His Excellency General Yoweri Museveni does not own the presidency of Uganda. If he did, and he could bequeath it, then he wouldn't be looking for votes. The office of president does not belong to General Museveni. No.
Now, I had to be the bearer of the bad news. If Museveni really named Muhoozi as his successor, all these folks would just fold their hands and be like, yes, sir. They would immediately switch their allegiance to Muhoozi. They don't stand on principles. I mean, like I said, he's a minister of internal affairs. He oversees security in Uganda. Look at what is being done to Museveni's political opponents. We even have these, what is his name? Chituma Rusoke, who looks in the camera and says, you know that guy who was brutalizing people in Guru when Bobi Wine was headed for his campaign? We don't know him. I've never seen him. Kahindo Otafiire should be holding press conferences and following up on this and, updating Ugandans. They don't care because they know they are just occupying these positions as dummies for the sake. Let us behave like we have a cabinet. That's why Museveni has really mastered the game of surrounding himself with yes men and yes women, the likes of Anita Among, who refers to him as God the Father. And then you have, who else? Nabanja, who says, Museveni, after God, you're the next one in line. Oh my, not the council of elites, not angels, no, not even her mom or dad, no. After Museveni, it is, after God, it is Museveni. That's Nabanja. Her words, not mine. You can check on the internet. Then who else? Jessica Alupo, Vice President of Uganda, Jessica Alupo. If she ever received, just in case, Imagine if she's somewhere at home doing her chores and, she receives a call from Janet Kataha. Janet saying, hello, Alupo, I want you here in Nakasero. She would, I guess, even run naked to be there. Because Museveni has mastered the game of surrounding himself with the yes-men. All the powers of the speaker, the prime minister, the vice president are all in one man, Caleb Akandwanaho, famously known as Salim Saleh, his young brother. So all this say, I oppose the presidential ambitions of Muhoozi Kainerugaba. All these they're liars. And it go down in history. I think one of the days that will go down as dark in the history of Uganda are days when very wonderful communicators like Kahindo Otafiire were ministers in internal affairs. Look at the lawlessness we see up to now. You have the military surrounding Robert Chagulanyi's home. The government has kept him in their, in their radar for how many days? Look at the chaos we witnessed in every election. He doesn't really care. He plays games because they know that the Ugandan people, we are gullible. We can be played. So, every time we see Kahindo Otafiire coming out to make these statements, I think the best thing would be to call him out, to be like, okay, Kahindo Otafiire, we truly appreciate your confidence, your bravery, but can you go beyond that? Walk the talk. Let us see you following up on this. Okay, we can as well say, look at the lawlessness and the impunity in Uganda, the breaking of the law. But Bwana Kahindo Otafiire, you are the Minister of Internal Affairs. What are you going to do? So, it's sad. But we have a very gigantic job to do here. It is to change the trajectory. If at all, at any given point, you end up in positions of leadership, and actually you don't end up, you have to offer yourself and be willing to pay the price of becoming a leader. Know that we have a huge, there's a friend of mine was sending me a clip and was asking me about the direction of Africa. And I'm like, not this moment. We don't have any direction. As an African continent, first of all, we are almost in every country, not every country, I don't want to say every country, but folks at the African Union are opportunists. They don't even care about the rights and liberties of the people in African respective countries. So, that's it for now. Let me know what you think. Am I reading too much? Am I being unfair to Kahindo Otafiire? Do I think that, do you think that he's really, really serious about his opposition to the presidential ambitions of Muhoozi Kainerugaba? Dr. Chizabesiji, I think one time says that, we thank you for raising your voice, but, it is too late. You fed this monster, and now this monster cannot be tamed. So, they say, when you lay your bed, you must enjoy that sleep. My name is Mordecai Maurice. I'll see you soon. Stick around.